Alright, I installed the new parking shoes, so this adjuster, I don't know if it matters or not. Mine, when I took it apart, it was facing this part. The adjusting gear was pointing down. I've seen people install it pointing up. I don't think it really matters. All it does, it just creates distance. So this is what it looks like, and I can now install the new rotor. So the first problem I'm running into is that I cannot install the calipers because the dust shield that I purchased, they're not properly, they don't fit properly. So for that reason, I can't do anything here. So I'll have to cut it. I think this will be the easiest option. To tighten the ABS sensor, I'm using a 5mm hex socket. So I got this kit to replace the parking brakes. And here is the number. I guess it works for a few different vehicles. And I got the part number right here. So first I'm just going to install the two brake shoes. This is a 5mm Allen key. Now the only thing to pay attention to here is that this narrow end goes on this side and this wider end is going on the other side. Now you gotta make sure that this parking cable, you attach it first at the handle inside the vehicle and then you fit it through. Because if you fit it through first, it might be very tricky to get it through at the handbrake level. Now this piece is the one that expands when you pull on the cable to spread the shoes. So it can be installed two different ways. You can install it, hook it up from above, and you can do it you can hook it up from the bottom. I don't think it really changes anything, but I just wanted to do it the way it was when I took it apart. So originally this is how it was, so I'm gonna install it the same way, hook up the cable from above, and then this is where it goes in between the shoes. So I'll just have to move them, and that's how it goes together. Now I got the adjuster here. Here's the part number. It came in the kit. So the only trick with the adjuster is make sure it's fully compressed at the beginning so that it's going to be easier to install the springs. And again here, I don't think it matters if this adjusting part is pointing towards the top or the bottom. I think from factory it was pointing towards the bottom, so that's how I'm going to install it. Now here I got 2 springs, that's all that's left, so this spring goes on this side. In this case, tie wraps, right, they weren't strong enough, so. So I was just used one of the fuses, so I hooked it on the spring and then pulled, and then I was able to push the spring in. Otherwise it was pretty difficult to get it in all the way. So that was probably the hardest part of this job. Now if you want to expand the shoes, you just rotate this towards the inside, and if you want to contract it, you just rotate it towards the outside. So I'm going to install a new rotor and see. I might spread it out a little bit more. I think that's just about perfect. The other thing you can do is just get in there with a longer screwdriver and adjust it, even with the rotor on. So you can see through the hole where the adjuster sits, and so you can reach through here to do the adjustment without removing the rotors. This is a 6mm hex socket. So I gotta make sure that the rotor is nice and tight, it's not wobbling around. Now I hope it's all gonna work. One of the problems I had is the dust shields where the brake shoes mount weren't original. I bought them off eBay, and that was a big mistake. When I bought them, they looked fine on the picture, but they actually didn't fit properly, so I had to cut pieces of it so that I could mount the caliper. So hopefully the other mounting points are at the right spots. I had to actually cut it here as well at the top, and then at the bottom I had to cut it. It was not aligned properly with the bolt locations, so it was blocking the bolts from getting mounted. So be careful if you're buying aftermarket dust shields for your rear brakes. Other than that, I'm just gonna connect the brake park wear indicator. I got the part number here, and then once the vehicle is on the ground, I'll be able to test the parking brakes. I think they're just as they should be right now. So the bottom one is for the brake level indicator. The wear indicator in the top is the ABS sensor, and my control arms are changed, so I'll have to use some zip ties to secure the wire indicator, the ABS, and the brake line, they're all gonna connect to this control arm. And actually I have a different plastic piece that will clip it right here. So once this brake pad gets used up, the rotor will start grinding on this little plastic piece, and once this plastic piece gets ground off by the rotor, the connection will break, and there's a wire inside, so that will break and disconnect, so that the computer is going to be able to indicate that the brake pads need replacing.